Chapter 15. The previous chapters of this story, which has in the background revolution, change of regime or not, depending on how you look at it, plot, coup d'etat, some febrile activity, professionally, working, translating, arranging things for journalists, even being one at certain points for Radio Sweden. I mentioned this in the stories before the story of the Queen of Beauty. Interesting period with the miners. We had to go down to cover when the bosses stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel. They had an affair between them anyway. I went with a friend whose life I changed, Mihai Radu, actually, because I insisted you should come, you must come. And he said, no, I don't want to be shot. Anyway, so his life was changed because I met with him and I said, no, there's money to be made. And in spite of his fierce opposition, I convinced him to come, and then his life was in journalism. And we did, in a way, their job for them for some short periods. And then some other things. And let's move on to the Queen of Beauty. Met by chance outside the police headquarters, whereas I had been taken in for several killings. I'm just enjoying myself here. The spouse is not around, so it's just free for all. I mean, there's no chance of having somebody coming from downstairs or at the door and saying something to the effect, cut the crap, shut up. Anyway, so somehow she accepted me in her presence, near her, took me to her bosom, figuratively, in the abstract, and in the flesh, literally, which was interesting. Now, for the reasons, that's why I do these things, to speculate, to try and analyze, to bring back some of the joy, intense, to now, and all I have is these puppies there to talk to. No, I'm just kidding. There's also a need to see where things got wrong. I mean, if we can say that, it could be that, one, first of all, nothing could be changed there. No other attitude could have made a difference, because I was not good enough for such nobility, such aristocracy of the body and soul, maybe. And on the other hand, or second of all, maybe it is for the better. So that's again one notion. What if maybe at one point, if I somehow get the talent, which I don't seem to have, alas, maybe I do enter into the real story making and look at the possibilities, get inspiration from these two characters, and then see a different scenario, a different alternative. But the way it would have worked, let's say me marrying this goddess, it wouldn't have been a key for happiness. On the contrary, it could have been much worse. With, again, one, divorce very soon, to a life of being close to somebody who is there on stage, kiss. Fandel has to go naked, has to pretend to be um, a whore, and then for a jealous type, that's not working very well. Plus, a life of mingling with people, of intense socializing, of affairs, of we see this everywhere, and so I don't know. Even if this doesn't happen, still for somebody who thinks it can happen, that's a recipe for disaster, for calamity. So who knows? Maybe it's better it happened as it did. But coming back, one reason why this ended after just 10 months or so, maybe fewer, I'm not sure about the timeline anymore. Perhaps I also don't feel it's worth trying to look. So maybe also on the internet at this time. When was the ceremony of the awards for the best athlete of the year, where she gave a trophy? And then I find out, okay, so that's the day we met, because in the morning, early afternoon, I offered her a drive, and she says, I'm Miss Romania, and I said, I'm the prince of Punjab or Bengal or whatever I say, thinking this is a joke or a crazy, good-looking character. And then in the evening, I took her to this thing. And then when was the Las Vegas Miss Universe or Miss World? There were two competing, or Miss Universe. There were actually two competing outfits at that time. Maybe one with a very stable genius in control. Anyway, maybe in the meantime they're united or not. What does it matter? But then I would find when this in the week of June 6th to June 11th, and I would say, okay, that's the end, because this was the end. I did get involved in too much. That's perhaps one thing. Instead of staying with let's date, let's meet, let's be lovers whenever we can and see a movie, go to a dinner somewhere, I don't know. I was all over the place. Being a driver, from the very first moment, let's go for your drive. Well, you should, because I'm Miss Romania. Shouldn't say that. She said it when I asked about the evening. What do you do this evening? Maybe we can meet again tonight. And she probably said, well, I have to be there because I have to give an award. I'm Miss Romania. You should know, who knows what she said. For real. From this, with driving her around, and when I couldn't, I hired Uncle Sandu to do it for us, and we'll get to that. To being involved in this thing, helping her prepare to potentially win the crown, and with that, splendid rewards. She didn't eventually, but then. And I was thinking, I was born in a cold winter near the Soviet border. I was trying to work, and they have to make a presentation. They have to come on stage with something, and most, I don't know, all, come with, I want to change the world, to make it a better world, to help old people cross the street, things like that, which are derided for good reason, because it shows limited imagination. It's puerile, artificial, false. It's just silly at one point. But then the whole thing is, of course, a target of satire, and it will go away. Feminist outfits. There's the movie with Keira Knightley, I noted on it's on the blog recently. Interesting. Bob Hope was the presenter, and they went in and they attacked this thing, which is indeed sexist, reactionary, old-fashioned, medieval. Women dressed in bathing costumes, short dresses, or parade in front of men, and some women to be evaluated on their bodies. That's not progress, civilized 20th, 21st century. But then so many things are there that are wrong. Let's not get into that. So that was one thing. Then the other was, and I will leave it for tomorrow, I guess. The other thing was trying to defend her rights, which sounds, and maybe it was noble in a way, but then I got too much on the professional side, and I was probably too much there as a, I don't know, as an advisor for the queen. Okay, a maître d', I don't know what the hell is paved with good intentions. The intentions were good. Okay, you have these problems. I'm with you. I'm your lover. I love you. So I have to, and I want to try and help you as much as I can. Let's see if I can help you get ahead there in Las Vegas. And before that, I got involved in this struggle with the people, Temina here and in Bulgaria, that caused headaches in connection with the title, with the contract which she had to sign to be officially anointed. I don't know, the Queen of Beauty, winner of the beauty pageant, which had all sorts of abusive clauses. Basically, she was not, if not their slave, well, close to it. She had to do all kinds of things for no money. Oh, well, I don't know, maybe, I'm just giving it from the top of my head, 100 lei. Let's get you to this place, and it will cost you, if you go decently with a taxi, it will cost you, and then outfits, and I just give figures, 1,000 lei, but we'll give you 100, 10 times less than it will really cost you to be decent, and get there and not look a pauper. I don't know. I'm just so I got into that, and with hindsight, probably too much into that, because it's one thing to be the boyfriend, the lover, whatever, and say, okay, so what happened? Oh, I'm very sorry. Well, I think you should, and give advice and offer support, moral and whatever. And it's another thing to go there and fight this woman from the radio, which we'll get to into tomorrow. Let's finish for today, because if I get too excited, too furious, I'm beginning.